thing. Okay. That's right. We're doing it live. All right. Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods and YouTube's #1 review show by a bear. Yes, indeed. Well, you know what? We've got to start off the show right away here. Thanking our brand new overlords. That's right, the Taliban. You got to thank the head choppers over there as, they make their way across Afghanistan and across the Atlantic, heading over to the United States there. Of course, Biden has fled the capital city, and, it's kind of an interesting time out there, Actually, wouldn't mind if the Taliban kind of came over and came to D.C. and, what's the saying there? Types, deletes? There we go. Kind of types, deletes the whole situation there. But, yes, indeed, yes. Kind of interesting how the most powerful military on the face of the earth can keep away a lot of these sort of MAGA heads in our own capital, but can't keep away a bunch of bearded guys in pickup trucks away from Afghanistan. Well, actually, I guess you can kind of swap in reverse there just a little bit, I guess. But anyways, I mean, most fabulous military in the entire world. Within a week, pretty much kicked in the you-know-wheres. Yes, indeed. All right, well, enough of that. Bear doesn't want to get too much into that. Actually, we're going to. It's actually kind of a topic of discussion here at the on the show. We're going to talk about it a little bit, but first, of course, what we do here. Do a little bit of news stuff, so we're going to go ahead, kind of get right into that real quickly here and talk about, let me get to it, if I can do the thing with the thing, and then you do the thing. There you go. There I am. All right, here we go. Here's how it's going to go. Kind of talking about a story that we were doing, what was that, last week? A couple days ago, 10 days ago or so, talking about our good friends over at Apple and what they're trying to do with iCloud and the situation that's going on there. Hello, Jeff. Good to see you here. A big yo to you as well. Yes, indeed. So, anyways, we're talking about just kind of as a follow-up here, just kind of a couple different news stories. Once again, we'll kind of tie everything. Bear promises there is a point to all this. We'll tie everything together here. And get to it. Well, let's just go ahead, get right on into it. Basically, what happened is Apple is trying to, in their new update that hasn't come out yet, they're trying to do some scans for some photographs that might be of illicit nature. And that's a noble goal and everything. They're trying to keep it off their iCloud and all that sort of stuff. But really stepped in the dog do this time because basically they're going to put a whole bunch of stuff on your phone and basically make your phone do all the work there and then send it to Apple. Not a bad idea, but you don't want to store the certain things that Apple is going to want to put on your phone because that might be a bad thing. Anyways, let's kind of talk about it here real quickly. Apple has published new documents that provides more details about the security and privacy of its new child safety features. Who could be against child safety features? Including how it's designed to prevent misuse. Who would have thought? For one, Apple says that in its documents that the system will be auditable by third parties like security researchers or non-profit groups. We wouldn't want to have profit groups involved. The company says that it will publish a knowledge base with the root hash of the encrypted CSAM. It's how do we put this? CP. We'll just kind of leave it there. Encrypted CP hash. Database used for iCloud photo scanning. So basically what they're trying to do is take essentially metadata of photos, known photos, and they're going to be kind of comparing it to the photos on your system there. And if they match, well, they're going to send that over to a whole group of people there to make sure that the photo that you got on your phone isn't the photo that they have in their database there. And, what's to go wrong? The Cupertino giant says that users will be able to inspect the root hash of the encrypted database present on their device and compare it to the expected root hash in the knowledge base article. It basically means you could basically take a look on your phone and see if you've got the thing that they're going to be taking a look at and remove it. So, you know what? If you're a bad guy, you can already find out if you've got that stuff on your phone and then take it off before you get in trouble. So, you know, 99% of the people, 99.9% of the people out there, you know, we're not involved in any of the whole situation there, and the 0.001%, you know, can actually now get their database here and take it off there. So there you go. Andrew J, good to see you here. He asks, grab an oar. Where are we going? Well, we're going to, bear promises we are going to get there, Andrew J. Just sit tight. We're going to get there, I promise. All right, let's see. Just going through this. This approach enables third-party technical audits. An auditor can confirm that any given root hash of the encrypted blah, 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 blah. So basically what they're trying to do is say, oh, it's not us now. We're going to send out your photos to a third party to go check it out and all that stuff. So now not only is, you know, the nasty stuff on your phone, and if they think that it's the nasty stuff, they're going to send it to Apple. Well, also Apple is going to send it to their friends as well to see if that is in there as well. So once again, Apple is, you know, completely stepped in it here, and essentially, you know, we are going to talk about ComicsGate stuff. I do promise you about that. But you know, you kind of see this giant corporation here, and not really listening to the customers and people that are you know, buying their phones and everything. Essentially, I don't know if it. Oh, shoot, I don't have it on here, but basically they're getting excoriated in the comments. Look at this, 50 comments. Usually, this is called Apple Insider. Usually they get maybe a couple, 2, 3, 4 comments sometimes on different stuff. They look at stuff that's, you know, coming out or, you know, in the rumor mill, that sort of deal. 50 comments, basically, everybody's pretty much saying, yeah, this is a bad idea and everything. Apple, you know, they're just going to go through with it. They're going to go through with whatever they're going to do and not really listen to the customer base there. So I promise you people that will tie in there in just a second. But actually, continuing on, you know, because we've got to be able to trust. We've got to be able to trust these companies, right? I mean, it's not like we can come in and, you know, be critical or, you know, I mean, they wouldn't lie to us. I mean, gosh, I mean, they would never lie to us, right? I mean, anyways, major fact-checking website admits to plagiarizing articles during partnership with Facebook. That's right. David Mickelson claimed. By the way, go look up David Mickelson. That's a very interesting fellow there. Claimed ignorance of journalistic norms while admitting elsewhere that he was plagiarizing. Basically, he was lifting articles from one place and claiming it as his own. A bombshell report in BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed, I don't know, but whatever. By the way, this is Just the News and Daniel Payne. Let's see. Let me find where Bear was at. Major fact-checking website was publishing plagiarized articles during a high-profile partnership with Facebook several years ago. Snopes.com. Haven't we all heard of Snopes.com? A storied urban legend debunking website published dozens of articles containing material plagiarized from news outlets such as The Guardian and the LA Times. The articles, written by site co-founder David Mickelson, go check him out, was run between 2015 and 2019, some years of which Snopes was partnered with Facebook to assist the social media site in fact-checking news and internet articles. So basically, if you put up a article or something like that on Facebook, and they says, no, you can't put this. We've been fact-checking it with Snopes.com, and this is completely wrong, and we're taking it off. Well, it comes to find out that Snopes.com was plagiarizing a whole bunch of stuff. Mickelson admitted in a statement to BuzzFeed that he had, quote, engaged in multiple serious copyright violations of content that Snopes didn't have the rights to use, adding, there's no excuse for my serious lapse in judgment. He says, I'm sorry. Well, you know what? Bear does not accept your apology. In an interview with BuzzFeed, Mickelson claims ignorance of the tenets of journalism, telling the news service, I didn't come from a journalism background. I wasn't used to doing news aggregation. Well, I would suppose that the most journalists don't know the tenets of journalism. However, Slack messages reportedly viewed by BuzzFeed allegedly showed Mickelson indirectly admitting that he was engaged in plagiarizing. Quote, usually when a hot, real news story breaks, such as a celebrity death, or remember, Snopes is what did they call it? Urban legend debunking website. So, the sort of, is the guy hiding behind your car, urban legend true or something like that, the guy in the back seat or whatever. So he's talking about stuff with celebrity deaths, which he has no really reason to do. I just find a wire service or other news story about it and publish it on the site verbatim to quickly get a page up. Mickelson allegedly wrote in the message, quote, once that is done, then I quickly start editing the page to reword it and add material from other sources to make it not plagiarized. That would be not fake. So basically, the website checking out fact checks is basically, engaged in plagiarism, which is one of the worst things that you can do in journalism, but that's all right. The norms. My norms. There we go. Anyway, so, once again, we have an issue there where, a large company there, or, Facebook, they didn't control Snopes there, but, a large company using a smaller company to say, this is what's true and this is what's not true on our platform. Well, comes to find out, well, maybe he's making it up all along. Who knew? But that I wouldn't listen. I mean, that's just the only. That's like one instance. That's it. There's no other instances of any of that. Going to Deadline here. Deadline, kind of a how would you pronounce this? A kind of a trade publication, trade magazine for kind of Hollywood and everything. It says, thanks for the reminder, Morgan Neville. Documentaries are not real. What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Documentaries are not real. Oh my goodness. Here we go. For movies. This actually happened, when was this? July 19th. Kind of been in the stack here for a little bit, but let's go ahead and get to it. And then we'll actually get into the rowing here, I promise. For movies, the best thing to happen last week was documentarian Morgan Neville's flip response to the New Yorker's query about his having covertly used artificial intelligence to voice some of Anthony Bourdain's lines in the film Roadrunner. Anthony Bourdain is kind of like a celebrity chef or celebrity cook. He kind of went around the world and tasted a bunch of stuff and yada, yada, yada. It's not important. He's dead now. If you watch the film, other than the line that you mentioned, this is a quote from Mr. Neville. If you watch the film, other than the line you mentioned, you probably don't know what the other lines that were spoken by the AI, and you're not going to know. We can have a documentary ethics panel about it later. That answer. Especially the sassy seconds. Oh, a sassy. Oh, he's so sassy. Sassy sass. That answer, especially the sassy second sentence, provoked outrage among peers with a stricter view of authenticity in nonfiction films. I mean, because what would be the point? Because if you wanted to make a fiction film, just go make a fiction film. It's not that hard. But they got the sass on them, I tell you what. But it certainly cleared the air about a point that can't be repeated too often. For the good of viewers and filmmakers alike, documentaries are not real. They're a mere reflection of reality, subject to all kinds of the tricks, techniques, and sleight of hand that directors and producers may or may not bring to bear. Wait, what? Why are you blaming bears here? Bear had nothing to do with this. He literally had nothing to do with this. Watching a well-crafted documentary, it's easy to be consumed by an overwhelming sense of having witnessed the truth. It's all right there, right before your eyes and ears, beyond dispute. The camera doesn't lie. Just so. Why is he? I hate this. Just so. Who says just so? I don't know. Just so. I can remember seeing hundreds of sophisticated Hollywood players swept into a near frenzy of belief at a 2004 premiere screening of the anti-George Bush quote-unquote documentary, Fahrenheit 9/11. And they had seen Bush and his minions as they really were, a pack of cynical, self-serving, half-witted hypocrites. Michael Moore had caught the bunch of them on film. Ooh. But sadly, after years in the news business and almost a decade inside the studio walls, I was struck with the glum realization that this crowd, if any, should have known better. Ah, man, I tell you, you kind of get to the point where you're like, man, these people are kind of all elite, kind of stuck up people. No, actually, the elite, are stuck up amongst themselves there. So I don't know. Anyways. The picture, like all movies, was just a construct. A good editor could have taken the raw footage and constructed a Bush campaign film, probably with the same claim to validity. I guess, I don't know. The question becomes trickier when, as with Roadrunner, a filmmaker actually manufactures a voice or an image. Was it done with an intent to deceive? I bear wonders on this. Bear wonders. Did it present the subject doing or saying something at odds with known fact? Question mark. In quote, parentheses, in Bourdain's case, the telltale line was reading from his own email, so there was no apparent departure from his personal truth. The personal. Well, why not just have like a, I don't know, like a personal friend or, like a Gordon Ramsay type, or hell, even the director. Just read it. Just read the thing, and then just say, read by, whatever, Gordon Ramsay. You stupid donkey. Just have him do the thing. You don't need an AI to recreate this guy's voice. This is crazy. But again, this small transgression, if such it was, illuminates another facet of the problem. Documentarians are not journalists. They're storytellers who work with sound, image, and careful arrangement of the facts. Well, you can always count that as journalists as well, actually. Storytellers who work with sound, image, and a careful arrangement of possible facts, possible not facts. There you go. Ask them in an honest moment, and they will tell you so. There you go. So anyways, he kind of goes on here and kind of puffs up himself. But there you go. The major trade publication in Hollywood is basically saying, hey, yeah, by the way, the documentaries are not real at all. And actually, Bear kind of found, where was it here? Yeah, here we go. I'm not going to read anything here. I'll just let the headline speak for itself. And remember, documentaries are not real at all. All right, there we are. That's enough of that, because we actually got to get into some very important stuff here. Let me see. Let me get this out of the way. That other way. Did it do it? Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, people. Actually, let me bring that back up so it does. I don't know. Still not sure what to do with the old OBS here. Let me just go back to that. Oh, Beer's in the wrong place here. There we go. Just go back up here. There we go. That feels better. It feels better. There we go. All right, so grabbing an oar, kind of a classic line from one of the greats here, John Malin, always basically telling people, hey, don't try to, do. Well, you want to do your own thing, but you want to kind of go in line with everybody else. Not necessarily that you're falling in line or anything like that, but you gotta pick up the slack, as it were. Pick up the slack. Don't always kind of wait for somebody else to kind of come along and do the business. You're kind of pining for somebody else to solve the problem. No, grab an oar, go help out, go try to solve a little bit of the problem. So one of the things that Bear's kind of dealing with, we start off here. We kind of talk about some of the different news topics of the day. Sometimes they're fun. Sometimes they're a little bit more serious. Talking about Apple and CP and all that sort of situation there. You probably don't want to have that necessarily on a comic book channel there. But you know what? We try to at least inform just a little bit there. Again, this isn't a current events channel or anything like that. Not a political channel or anything like that either. It's been one of the things Bear's kind of thought here recently. Okay, maybe do a second channel. Maybe just do that with current events or or Bear was actually going to say pop culture. Actually, kind of a lot of the stuff that we're doing here, if you think about it, a lot of the stuff, you got your Marvel or your Disney or whatever, those would technically be pop culture. Actually, what we're doing here is kind of, what would you call this? Unpopular culture, maybe? I'm not sure. But anyway, something along those lines there, where we're talking about a little bit what we're doing here, kind of as a difference of what was going on in the larger world a little bit, kind of going back to the Apple situation, comparing some of the ComicsGate creators, if you've got a problem or, a book's dinged or, hey, you see something in the campaign and maybe you'd want to maybe do something a little bit different, maybe, I don't know, have something on if there's a bookmark stretch goal, maybe have something on the back of the bookmark as well. Maybe just not have it one side or something like that. Just as an example. So you have these creators out there that actually listen to that stuff, and you kind of compare that stuff with the Apple stuff where you get all the people in the forums and all this stuff. No, Apple, don't do this. Don't do this. This is a terrible idea. And Apple says, no, you bunch of morons. You just don't understand what great things we're doing here. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing anyways and just kind of plow over you. So it's kind of the difference there. So there is kind of a nexus, I guess you could say, between the straight artistic, just straight artwork, that sort of deal when you're talking about comics and ComicsGate, and actually the more sort of, how would you kind of describe this? A little bit more of the social aspect of it. I was going to say political, but I don't want to say political because a lot of times people kind of take that as, you're trying to promote either like a party or a candidate, or maybe you're trying to promote a policy of some reason. No, we're not trying to do that. There's actually kind of a wide berth in ComicsGate of different people on different sides of the aisle, if you will. Actually, a lot of people from different countries, so they might kind of come in and say, we don't really know much of anything about American politics. And same way with, for example, politics in the UK or Canada or, in Asia or something like that. A lot of people here in the United States might not know a whole lot about that. So you don't want to take it down to very specific things. You don't want to take it down to very specific, we need to come out and, be against, Senate Bill 27 or whatever the heck is going on. That's kind of not where it's coming from. But at the same time, when the ComicsGate started, it actually started as a little bit of a sort of movement as well. We had a little bit there where a lot of either coming from like your boy Zach kind of side, people that were outside of the industry looking in, making comments saying, hey, we don't like the direction of this. We don't like the way that you're pushing your own politics in the comics. We don't need any of that. Or they're really pushing an agenda or something like that. They're making Superman a woman or something like that, or whatever the case may be. What was the latest one? They were turning Robin gay or something like that. I mean, whatever. So a lot of that started out as a reaction to what was going on in the in just basically the entertainment realm as a whole. Talking a little bit about that, and at the same time, on the flip side of things, on the sort of professional side of things, you had you go down the list, Uncle Lee, John Malin, Mike Miller. You take your pick out of there of the artists that were in a kind of situation, whether it would have been a political belief or a religious belief or just generally being ornery or something like that and not getting along. A lot of the stuff they were what we like to call the cancel culture. Bear doesn't like to normally use that. It's we'll get into it in just a second. It's a little bit more, Bear's kind of coming up to the term of corporate culture rather than cancel culture, but, that's part of the zeitgeist. So a little bit of the ComicsGate realm actually started out in the movement of the anti-cancel culture. where they were talking about no, if you have a belief, let's just say you had Gay Robin. Let's just say you had Gay Robin, and you had him out there. Well, maybe you have an artist that might say, hey, this is against my religious beliefs. I might not want to do this, or maybe could you put me on another project or something like that. Well, now all of a sudden they are, in Mike's case, blacklisted or just canceled generally. Had nothing to do with their talent or anything like that, just had to do with their belief system. So you had kind of that two nexus at the same time kind of coming together in this sort of anti-cancel culture movement, as it were. And you had, a lot of more things as well. It was, especially with your boy Zach, it wasn't, hey, don't buy these comics. It says, hey, I've got a different idea. Let me make my own comic and try and make a go of it here. So it was kind of the difference between a boycott and a boycott. So more or less, a lot of the ComicsGate people are like saying, okay, hey, I like this. I like let's just say Mike Miller's Lone Star as a Captain America example. Hey, I like his Captain America rather than the real Captain America, as it were. So you had that where you had kind of a choice between the two, and you actually had a free market in there. You actually had, hey, let me be able to choose between a really good artist with a really good story or a somewhat average artist with a forced message that they're forcing down on people, rather than, hey, the people want this and they want more of it. So right there we actually have a little bit of a quasi-political movement, as it were. You have your free market people versus the people that think that everything should be in how do you pronounce it? Is it equity? Equity, I think, is the new big term that they're using now. And also, trying to promote your stuff rather to say, no, don't buy this. So again, you're the antithesis of the sort of cancel culture situation there. So that's where ComicsGate kind of started out. It was the cancel culture, corporate culture is what Bear's calling it, versus sort of the independent situation. So we've had that situation for what? I don't know, about 2 years now. We went from the fundraising portion of it. Can this happen? Can a boycott happen? Well, yes, it did. It made a whole lot of money. I mean, we were going through that the other day, some of the groundbreaking books there, Jawbreakers, obviously. You got Cyberfrog. You got a number of other stuff that did really well. I mean, heck, Bear even included Bigfoot Bill in all that sort of stuff. Bigfoot Bill did a great job. Collected a lot of money. So the whole boycott situation actually worked. It actually worked really well. Unfortunately, that was the end of sort of the collaboration, I suppose, or people kind of talking a little bit more outside of just basic artwork and comics and putting it more towards a kind of larger belief system, the anti-cancel culture belief system. Well, we've already won that battle, so to speak. It's still out there. It's still going on. We don't want people to be canceled or anything like that. But at least for ComicsGate or comics creators, there's a place to go. You've got somebody in the industry that is getting tired of it, doesn't want to do the 9-to-5 thing, and what all is going on with that. Hey, come on over here. Just as long as you got a couple simple basic beliefs, it's fine. But what happened was ComicsGate never really sort of defined those beliefs. It was basically a kind of a come on, come all sort of situation. Well, there needed to be a little bit of hate to use the term, but gatekeeping just there a little bit. I mean, you wouldn't want somebody that was totally against these, was totally for, boycotting people, totally for canceling, their Twitter account or their Facebook account or whatever. You wouldn't want somebody like that in ComicsGate. It just wouldn't work out very well. But at the same time, there was never really any sort of, and Bear's not we're not we're not creating the 10 commandments here of ComicsGate or anything like that, but just a couple kind of basic points I think that that ComicsGate can kind of latch on, or has already latched onto, I guess, without really knowing about it, and maybe promoting that a little bit more and saying, okay, this is what we're about, rather than this is what we're against. So Bear kind of came up with like 3 different things here. The first one was the anti-cancel culture, anti-corporate culture, as it were. You know, a lot of this, again, we kind of go back to the Apple thing. You know, where you get a little bit more interaction between, you know, it's easier to talk to somebody kind of person to person, or, you know, rather than trying to go, okay, let me talk to the call center to go to the, you know, the next person. And there's like 3 or 4 layers, because, you know, you got to have the 3 or 4 layers there just to be able to kind of finally get to the right answer. But at the same time, the companies, we want to keep all these people out, so they you know, quit bothering us and all this other stuff. So yeah, there's a little bit of stuff that I think ComicsGate can kind of latch onto just a little bit more. Some more of the not necessarily social issues, but just issues generally that I think people, again, across either political lines or just even generally ideological lines, I pretty much, I think most of the people can kind of come together around, whether you voted for Trump, or, you know, whether, like Bear, you voted for Biden multiple times there. I gotta get rid of that pesky Second Amendment there. So anyways, came up with anti-cancel culture. That would be the first one there. The next one is kind of very simple. It's meritocracy. Basically, well-marketed campaigns are going to do well. If you've got a good YouTube channel, if you've got a good personality, you know what? If you've got some really good, it doesn't even have to be great. It could be just good art, a good story, a good solid story there. Maybe a good concept would help out as well. Chances are you're going to have a good comic, and it's probably going to do relatively well. I mean, that would be without even, you know, going along onto a lot of the bigger channels or anything like that. You know, if you've got something that works and you're able to put it out there and put it to good use, I think that's a good thing. I think that's something that all the ComicsGate people can kind of get behind there just a little bit. And, you know, it doesn't really kind of fall into one political side or the other. I think if you do a good job, you know, the cream should rise to the top there. And of course, if you have a original successful campaign, one of the books that Bear was talking about the other day was Earthbound. Earthbound, I mean, Narwhal kind of came out of nowhere. I think Bear heard about him on RT Bear Show. This is before he kind of blew up and all that sort of stuff. So we had a pretty decent original run of the Earthbound hardcover version, and then you know, gets talked about a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Gets on the Jack Show and some of the other shows there. You know, next thing you know, you've got a campaign that's almost doubled up your first campaign there. So as long as you've got that drive and will to do something pretty good and be able to put it out there, and you know, I wouldn't say Narwhal is the most socially normal person out there. Who could Bear judge? But you know, if somebody like Narwhal can do it, pretty much anybody with some good artistic talent or some good writing talent, you know, you could probably pretty much make it here in ComicsGate. And you know, you don't really hear too much about some of the bigger names out there talking about that a little bit much. You know, it's not something to kind of wrap around just a little bit, but I think the meritocracy situation there, as opposed to, you know, you're so and so, or you're so and so's son, so you have to be able to get into it regardless of your talent or anything like that. You know, I think we know people all around the spectrum there, from all different walks of life, who might have gotten in certain positions that didn't really deserve it or anything like that. I think that I think that's something a little bit that the ComicsGate people can kind of wrap their arms around a little bit there. Also, what you want to do, in fact, it kind of started out that way, you know. So you've got somebody like your boy Zach or Uncle E or something like that. You know, they got their channel and they're starting to do well. And you know, real begets real and all that other stuff. Well, now all of a sudden you've got more people coming to you. So now you're trying to help out other people, and hey, maybe do a cover or something like that. So, that sort of thing. It kind of a positive feedback, I suppose you could say, is something that helps out the community without, you don't have to make a huge deal about it or anything like that. Just have somebody on the channel. Hey, so-and-so's got a book out. Go check it out on Indiegogo. And, a lot of times people, listening to, you might just listen to one channel or something like that. Somebody else comes on. Oh, hey, somebody else has got a book and so-and-so's talking good things about it. Hey, maybe we should check it out. So I think that might be also something as well, just kind of helping out others. The third thing that Bear kind of came up with is, again, it's something more intrinsic with ComicsGate than people realize, but they don't really even, or if they talk about it, it's kind of just in general terms. Bear would actually like to see it a little bit more. He's talking about entrepreneurship. Basically, everybody that we are talking about in ComicsGate is either a what we would call a sole proprietor, a kind of a single person business person, maybe two people or something like that. If you've got a writer or an artist or something like that, or maybe you've got an editor or something like that. But it's a pretty small group of people that you're dealing with. So you've got small business compared to, you talk about what would it be? Disney that owns Marvel, or DC is owned by. Are they still owned by AT&T, or did they get sold off? I think they got sold off, but either case. Black Mamba says hello. Good to see you there. But the books are late. Well, again, I think it's not a well-oiled machine or anything. A lot of the people coming into this have never done anything like this before. So, they might be really good at art, or they might be really good at coming up with the story or something like that. But, fulfillment is kind of something that is completely foreign to them. So, yeah, sure, books are late, of course. And of course, artists should, put in a little padding and stuff like that. Bear would say one thing, just real quickly. 2020 was a very weird year, especially with people getting stuff printed over in China and whatnot. And especially now we've got a lot of the back order situation there. So Bear would kind of give a little bit of leeway just in the year 2020. There's a couple books that Bear's still waiting on, but given a little bit of leeway there, I wouldn't go pulling our hair out on that. So ComicsGate is small. But you know what? They started out small and is getting bigger and bigger. So again, kind of the theme of this is the sorts of lost momentum a little bit of ComicsGate. Started off very, very small and was able to latch on, or I shouldn't say latch on, but coalesced with a number of different movements out there. We were talking about the anti-cancel culture movement out there. So from that, they got a little bit bigger. So we're talking about some kind of other sorts of topics that maybe ComicsGate can kind of talk about a little bit more, and kind of maybe get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. We're not going to, we're not going to shoot to the moon on the first rocket launch. So sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes you got to launch up the monkey first before you put in a person. I don't know. Did they ever send up bears? I wonder if the Russians ever sent up a bear. I don't know. That'd be something to look up. Anyways, one of the things about the small business entrepreneurship, we talked a little bit about it here earlier, more of a direct contact with some of these people. Bear's kind of shared this before recently, but one of the things, had an issue with I believe it was the Lone Star 2 campaign that Bear had an issue with. Wanted to get some sketch cards from Kane White. But don't know what happened to Kane and White, unfortunately. Anyways, was chatting back with Mike here. Don't want to give away too many details, but basically he says, hey, we couldn't make it work with Kanan. Would you mind if I drew them? I've got a little bit of time here. Bear says, hey, not a problem. That's fine. No worries about it. Unfortunately, it looks like Mike has since passed, so I don't know if Bear's ever gonna get those cards. The old Wu flu taking poor Mike out, but at any rate, so yeah, it was good. Or let's see, there was another one where gosh, was it Matt Weldon? I think there was some issue with the books that Bear had gotten there. Said, hey, Matt, there might be an issue here. Can you take a look at it real quick? I mean, boom, right away. Got an email back saying, hey, Bear, hey, sorry about that. Let me do this. Or what was the other one? It was Eric Nielkowski. Didn't get in the those cards as well, the metal cards. He says, hey, most of the people got it with other stuff. Barry, you had ordered it separately, so hey, sorry about that. Send it out right. I mean, these emails are like right away, turned right around. Where if you try to do something with a company or corporation or something like that, like you said, you're going through those 3, 4, or 5 different layers of people that are trying to oh yes, we're so concerned about your situation, but really they're just kind of pulling your leg and pulling you along a little bit. So yeah, it's good to have a little bit more of that direct, not necessarily face to face, but more of that direct contact with some of these people. Black Mamba says, Malin, J. Faircroft, Cummings, I Love Comics, Frugal, other names. That's the real ComicsGate. Well, there you go. Let's see. But I'm loving the vibes. You are super respectful. Don't mention it, Bear. Or Black. I read that as Bear for some reason. Don't mention it, Black Mamba. It's good to have you here. Like we said, we try to pull in all different sides there. All different sides here. Anyways, where was Bear? I've got all this written down here. Let's see. Oh yes. So okay. So you've got your book. Maybe it's from a new artist. Maybe it's from one of these more established artists out there, and he's got a second book or a third book or something like that. Well, that success right there actually kind of has an add-on effect. So maybe I'm just using this as an example. Maybe Uncle E is going to go do a third book, and he wants to bring in some of the different people. So he might bring in, I'm just going to, a Narwhal cover or a Fragaboom cover or, hey, a Gary Shipman cover or something like that to, help out some of the different people there as well. So success from one ComicsGater actually kind of produces success for other people as well. And also they're hiring different people within the community. Eric Weathers, Eric Letters Too Much is a good example. Which projects hasn't he lettered here? So Eric is pretty busy. You've got other people as well, colorists or writers, or maybe just people that are proofreading and stuff like that. So that sort of thing kind of breeds success on its own there. So that's another success story out of ComicsGate that I think should be a little bit more kind of promoted there. Hey, not only are you helping me out, you're helping out the whole community here as well, and that's gonna just do nothing but bring great things here in the future. Yes, indeed. And kind of the final thing, it's not a not really something to kind of hang your hat on or anything like that, but it's something that Bear kind of wishes that there was a little bit more talk of. It's one of these topics that's really kind of dry and boring, and I think a lot of the artists kind of shy away from it, but just basically kind of managing your finances during a campaign. It's it's kind of hard, especially if it's kind of your first time doing this stuff. Maybe you're coming from an organization or company that all you had to do was do the artwork. You didn't really have to worry about the lettering, or you didn't have to worry about the coloring, or hell, you didn't even have to worry about paying the bills and all that sort of stuff. Well, now you're into it, up to your neck, as it were. So it's a little bit more of kind of a arcane topic there, but as opposed to, let's just talk about Marvel or DC or something like that, where they're just losing money left over right. They're, putting up artists or putting up writers that really are not very good, putting them out there, and they're losing a whole bunch of money. But you know what? Their message is more important than making money. Well, here we can actually do, hey, not only are we making money, but we're also having a good time about it, and our message is actually positive. We're not actually talking down to people or anything like that. So, yeah, that was kind of the 3 things that kind of Bear was as moving forward, as Black Mambo here was talking about, or growing here a little bit, we kind of started out with the anti-cancel culture movement, as it were, and I think you can kind of add a couple more things onto there as well: meritocracy, entrepreneurship, small businesses, direct customer relations, that sort of deal. That's something that ComicsGate should really be out in front of, on point with here, and using that in the repertoire. It's nice to have. It's nice to have some of the jokey, fun stuff out there. What was the thing? Bear didn't really understand it. I don't think he was around or didn't catch the video, but they were doing the monocles for Somalia. 2020 vision for 2021 or something like that. It's a nice kind of fun haha thing, but it's a little bit more kind of as a side joke thing rather than an actual hey, here's a platform, this is something we need to stick our feather, or a feather in our cap, so to say. You need something a little bit more than just kind of a goofy sort of situation there. You need something, as Bear would say, a little bit more meat on the bones, as it were. So anyways, those are kind of a couple things that Bear kind of thought about. I don't know if there's any other thoughts out there in the wider audience there, but hey, if you do got, or if you're watching this on delay or watching this after the fact, hey, leave something down there in the comments section. Maybe you've got a couple other ideas there as well. We're trying to keep it away from Trump, Biden, or some sort of political situation. Something that a lot of just generally normal, not blue-haired weirdo, off to the fringe type people, or on the other side, the crazy, full-blown. How would you call this? The sort of MAGA head sort of situation. Not that there's anything wrong with the people. You just try not to infuse politics into everything. You want to be able to talk about it, and that's what we do here. We have a couple fun stories at the very beginning, but try and tie it in a little bit with the comics and all that sort of situation. It's not always this serious on the channel. We usually just do reviews or box opens and other stuff like that. But just trying to find a way of talking about some of this stuff without getting too far into the weeds. And at the same time, not just, don't want to do a total separate, just totally political channel. I think that would be really boring and just not very fun. This is fun. The other stuff, not very fun. So. All right, let's see. Let's go back to the chat here. Let's see. Black Mama. Yes, indeed. There we go. All right. So let me see. Did I have anything else here? I did have this other article. Actually, one of the things. Let me just kind of jump to it real quick here, since we were talking about different news stories. Let's see. There it is. So one of the things Bear was just originally going to talk about was kind of pick back up with, we did a show not too long ago about what you could say and what you couldn't say on YouTube as far as the whole Wu flu situation here. So had this other story, not going to really read into it or anything like that, but they're talking about basically proof of citizenship, proof of vaccination status, as it were. So, again, we're trying not to get too into the current event stuff, but at the same time be able to talk about it, but not make it boring, or try to make it a little bit more germane to what the channel is here and what we're talking about. So at any rate, I think that's pretty much it for Bear here. Would have normally did the video here, but just didn't have enough time to set it up. Didn't really have too much to show. We did the 499 book the other day. Very good book. Also, POD. If you haven't checked out, Bear reposted the box opening, I suppose, of the Gary Shipman swag out there. A lot of stuff that he put into that box. I tell you what, a number of different cards and bookmarks and all that stuff. If you haven't checked out Gary Shipman's either channel or the Titan comic on Indiegogo, check that out. You will not be disappointed with all the stretch goals that you get in the indie package. We did that the other day. a couple other books as well. Starblade stuff there as well. So I might get back into the reviews. Kind of did a very quick review of Starblades and Titan. May try to think about getting back into the reviews. Although I tell you what, it took Bear probably about 10 days to about 2 weeks to do a review, the older reviews that Bear was doing. So it kind of took a while. That's why Bear was kind of doing some of the live stuff here. So actually, you know what? Doing the shows actually takes a lot of time as well. Bear actually had a whole lot. Let me get off of this. I'm not talking about this. Had a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about, kind of broomed it, and kind of wanted to discuss a little bit more of the sort of, I don't know, not necessarily political stuff, but more cultural stuff, I suppose, as far as where kind of ComicsGate can kind of move forward with. You know, we started with the cancel culture. Great, terrific, you know, boycott, not boycott, but again, kind of moving a little bit forward there. Bear offered a couple of suggestions there, and maybe you've got a couple as well there. So make sure you leave those in the comment section. Bear will read them. You know what? One of the things, Bear doesn't get that many comments, but every once in a while, I think maybe we'll on one of these live shows, maybe kind of read out some of the comments, and Bear can kind of respond to that as well if you've got a kind of a very detailed comment for Bear. He does appreciate it. All right. So Black Mamba changed his icon very quickly. That's pretty funny. All right. Well, once again, do thank everybody for coming out and checking out the channel. We do this every Wednesday and Saturday evening, usually right around 8 o'clock or so. Tried a different time the other day. It wasn't really that popular, so maybe sticking with the 8 o'clock time period here. So do appreciate everybody stopping by, talking to Black Mamba, Andrew J, of course, and we can't forget Jeff Potts, or anybody else, any of the other lookers out there as well. Do appreciate you guys. Even if you don't make a comment, hopefully you've given Bear that thumbs up. Does appreciate that. All right. Well, once again, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Do appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. But you know what? Bear's getting a little bit hungry here, so he's going to head back into the woods. So until next time, people, grrrrr.